All right, welcome back. March to the Madness 2022. We're going to preview the round of 32 and talk about what happened in our opening round on Founders Day. How you feeling today, Juan?
Honestly, Ryan, kind of conflicted. There were some heartbreakers. There's some underdogs coming out of nowhere. Some of the sleepers woke up, and some of the sleepers stayed asleep.
They didn't find their Prince Charming, I guess, this year.
Nope.
Maybe next year.
Maybe. We'll see. There's still time.
Still time. Let's not keep the people waiting. Let's talk about some of those first round matchups, some of those heartbreaks, and talk about the upcoming matchups this week.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get right into it. Devotee region, Indiana, just coming in strong. Number 1 seed champions last year. They wanted it, Ryan. Like they were ready to take on everyone, and Westminster was just not ready for it. Indiana, what can I say? Just wow. Moving on to their next matchup for tomorrow is going to be against DePaul. And I told you, do not sleep on DePaul, all right? Like those non-Eagles, they're going to go places, all right? And they're going to give Indiana a run for their money, all right? I beat you to the game, just so you know. I knew you were going to pull it out.
To be honest, I don't even know their mascot, so
I think it's a tiger.
The picture didn't look like an eagle, though, so I'll give you credit for that one. Yeah, I mean, Indiana might have to be a little worried here. This is DePaul came out strong that first game, and obviously both are in the state of Indiana. DePaul, coming back onto campus recently and getting their alumni re-engaged, and this will be a good way to say, "Hey, Realm, we're here and we're back."
Right,
yeah, looking forward to that one.
And speaking of making statements, Indiana State making a performance the other day as well. They're going to have to go up against Northern Illinois, and I think that's going to be a pretty close matchup. But if Indiana State is able to pull through, along with Indiana, we're going to have a showdown here, Ryan. And I foresaw it coming. You doubted me, but I foresaw it. I just want to say that for the record.
Didn't we both foretell the Indiana State and Indiana?
You may have forethought, but I forced. Yes. Thank you. Moving on.
All right.
We have Alabama, who, again, this is their first year winning their first matchup. They got to feel pretty good about that. But they're going up against your favorites, Ryan, Kentucky. And you always bet on Kentucky. I'm not really sure why here. But it's going to be Alabama, Kentucky. We'll see what happens. I don't know. This could be the breaking of your Ryan curse this year. Can Kentucky pull through? I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, unlike this weekend, they were able to, skate by a team from Tennessee in the first round. But I kind of think that was a lot more competitive than they expected. We really don't know what we're going to see out of them this year. They have extenuating circumstances going on with, a key death to a key alum there, issues with the chapter. Just don't know if they're going to be giving it their all. They did take down East Tennessee State, who we'll talk about later, but they're still in the tournament as well after they put up a good fight against Kentucky in that first round. So, we'll see what we got here. Hugh Miller and Joe Anderson have a little bit of a rivalry, so they might have some text going on, a little smack talk. So it could be a fun one.
You could have just told them good luck, but all right. I'm just gonna move on. Okay. Anyways, and finally, Florida State versus Central Michigan. I don't know about this one. This one's going to be an interesting matchup. I feel like both schools have massive potential. We're looking at a good matchup, but I don't know if they've been talking to their key demographics, their alumni. I don't know what they have to do, but it's going to be an interesting showdown if both Titans just wake up out of nowhere. So this could be an interesting top 32 matchup.
I don't know. It seems like Central Michigan, like some of our other contenders in the first round, they're just content to skate by, try to save some funds for later on. But we'll see if that keeps up in the second round.
Simple no would have done just fine. But all right, well, why don't you just give it for Kerr?
Yeah. Speaking of teams that seem fine just skating by. Winthrop, they move on past Louisville in that first round. Just enough to move on. Evansville, though, surprisingly strong, very strong showing against Loyola. So we'll see if they keep it up for another round here and can make Winthrop work a little bit harder. Western Carolina, two-time Final Four team, absolute no-show this year. So Toledo moves on for another Ohio matchup, Youngstown and Toledo. Don't think Youngstown's going to have any issues there, but definitely be looking forward to that Youngstown Winthrop potential Sweet 16 matchup. One of the key teams I really want to focus on here, though, we did have the Bowling Greens, and I guess I maybe got too excited about a potential Bowling Green battle because this is about as exciting as probably being in either city of Bowling Green. So it's very fitting. But Bowling Green moves on, and they are the real Bowling Green. Sorry, Kentucky. The real Bowling Green resides in the state of Ohio.
So are you going to be giving Bowling Green a certificate hand-delivered, or did the show just not give it to you?
I'll be right on to it. Be right on. If they even want it, who knows? They may not even be excited about that title. We will get another Ohio Battle of Ohio team, so we might as well just rename this the Ohio region. Bowling Green will move on to take on Kent State. Like I said before, Kent State's my sleeper. They had a very strong showing taking out Mount Union, who was a Sweet 16 team a year ago. Once again, Mount Union is still in the tournament as well. They're one of the two wildcard teams with East Tennessee State, so we'll talk about them when we get to their next opponent. But Kent State, they seem very fired up. They're led by George Burke, captain. He's got them all rallied up, so I think they're moving on here. And with Florida Southern going down to Miami, if Miami keeps it up, they could easily move on, but maybe it was just a one-time thing for Miami. They just got up for Florida Southern, and maybe they have a little bit of a letdown here against East Tennessee. Kent State can easily go to the Elite Eight here, maybe the Final Four. So
I don't know, Ryan. I think you're being a little too lenient. That number 15 seed for Miami, I think they just shocked everyone in that first round. So I think they're here to prove something this year. They might become the dark horse of Kerr.
They've always had the potential in the fan base. We're getting messages. Northern Illinois is upset that we did not mention them. I think they like being the underdog role though. So we'll see. As we mentioned in the original bracket, they definitely have Cinderella potential, and they've been there, done that before. So,
and speaking of underdogs and wild cards, we actually do have for the very first time this year wild cards. Ryan, you want to get into a little bit of what that is?
Yeah, so you see here, Tulane and LSU both no-showed. So East Tennessee State, after a competitive matchup against Kentucky, moved on and took that slot here. So they'll actually go up against Miami. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. But should be a competitive matchup there. So as we mentioned, those are one of the two teams. Mount Union is the other wild card team. And we'll see if they keep it up here.
All right, so let's move on to Cockrell.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, Cockrell, I think I had a lot of potential when we were talking about them at first, but this might be the true sleeper bracket, Ryan. I think of a lot of our teams here. They're waiting and gearing up, but the biggest dark horse of all, of course, is Northern Iowa, but we'll get to them in a second. So next matchup we're going to have is Texas-Dallas against Mount Union. Of course, Mount Union was knocked out, but due to the wild card, they're going to be back in it. And I think they're going to be back in it with revenge, all right? And Texas-Dallas really got to watch out this round. Of course, moving on, we have Northern Iowa, which came out of nowhere. Big number 4 seed, but I didn't really see that coming. I don't know about you, Ryan.
Yeah, they were Sweet 16 just a year ago, Juan.
Okay, like one time. You expect me to remember I can't even remember if it's Eagles or not Eagles half the time. The only reason I knew that one time was because DePaul had the Tiger up front. They could have been Eagles.
Maybe they still are.
In their hearts. Moving on. You got anything else for those two matchups there, Ryan?
Northern Iowa, Maryland should be Barmer. Both teams, as we mentioned before, have been there, done that. They have experience in this tournament, led by strong captains and good alumni bases. I think the winner of that team, I think's going to the Elite Eight. Winner of that matchup, Texas Dallas. Once again, I'm not going to pick them. I'm just not doing it. Didn't do it last year, not doing it this year. They showed me nothing in the first round that made me even think they want to be here this year. So I'm going to keep it up. And I was very excited for all the first round matchups in this region, but you can cue up the Ryan was wrong again because there just weren't many competitive matches in this region at all in that first round. So I am excited to see the couple of second rounds with Mount Union, Texas, Dallas, Northern Iowa, Maryland, and the battle of the Dakotas down bottom. I think the bracket's wide open for North Dakota to get the Final Four though this year, just as I picked it. So
we'll see if you're right. All right, moving on. Of course, Mississippi, Arizona State. Oh, nope, just kidding. We're moving on. Nope, Foster. Marketing department said move on. We all know that Ryan gives the actual sports casting. I'm here for comedic effect and general fun.
Oh, there's not much sports here, Juan. It's just set up like sports.
It's a lot of sports. Hashtag anyone but Ryan. Thank you, James Blaney.
All right. Thanks, James. All right. Yeah, in our Foster region, probably the second round matchup I'm most looking forward to out of all of them, Oklahoma, Michigan State. Oklahoma, of course, they were the two-time champion before they lost last year to Texas Dallas. They came back with a vengeance this year, but Michigan State, what an impressive showing that first round. And they've always had the potential to do some really big things in this tournament. Oklahoma kind of got, hurt by the seeding committee on this one because Michigan State, when they want to play, they can beat anybody. So that's going to be fun to watch. So some would say electric even.
Are you feeling very electric?
That's electric. Where's Dave's music at now?
Thank you, marketing department.
Kansas State and Southern Miss. Southern Miss and Kansas State. Southern Miss had a very nice showing against the original Cinderella, Salem State. And Kansas State, I don't know what to really say there. Oklahoma State no-showed for the second year in a row. Kansas State moves on. Southern Miss. We talked about Oklahoma, Michigan State, but Southern Miss is not going to be any joke in that Sweet 16 matchup either. So you have to wonder if Oklahoma or Michigan State just runs out of gas after that barn burner. So we'll see. Nebraska and Towson is a battle of two of the foundation trustees. Nebraska, very impressive showing too. Just like Michigan State came out and they just throttled Missouri. Didn't even let them come up for air. I mean, it was blowout from 9:05 on. So we'll see what they got in the tank here for Towson. Towson barely squeaked by Cincinnati. Cincinnati just didn't know what you were going to get. But both of those teams had potential here, and Nebraska Towson should be a good one. But let's also not forget Idaho. Oklahoma, if they make it to the Final Four this year, they've earned it because there's some really, really strong teams in this region. And I just can't wait to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, even just in this first round, Ryan, we have Idaho, Nebraska, both coming up well over $1,000. Michigan State almost raising $1,000 there. Oklahoma $500. Just fighting through all of that. Do you have any new predictions, or are you still going to go with Oklahoma all the way on this one?
I'd have to go with maybe the winner of that Nebraska-Idaho matchup. It's tough. I really don't know. I'll stick with my initial pick because it's Oklahoma.
Anything can happen.
Yeah,
it's March of Madness.
Like I said, they're going to earn it. Oklahoma, Michigan State, Nebraska, Idaho. Towson's got the potential. So does Southern Miss. It's just anything can happen here. Yeah, that's why it's March, and that's why we love it.
All right. Well, I think that about does it, Ryan. I don't know.
What was your pick? You put me on the spot.
I can put you on the spot because like you start to overthink it and analyze it, and you're coming at it from like sports, donors, undergraduates, and I'm just here like, that one's nice. They like me, so that was nice. I'll go with Idaho. You know why? They're nice. I like them. They have potential, you know? And you got potential too, Ryan. I like that potential.
Wow. Juan, I didn't even need my coffee today. I just had my cup of Juan.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure when our next video is going to be. Maybe this week for Sweet 16. I'm not sure. But if not, good luck to your teams this week, and we'll see you next time. That's it for me. Juan, any final words of wisdom?
No, just good luck to everyone out there. Make those calls. Try to get your best friends, family, everyone in on it. If you're a big fan of Michigan State while they're playing Oklahoma, I don't even think that's possible. Ryan can tell me if I'm wrong. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime bet. Maybe. I don't really know.
I think they played football, I don't know, a few years ago. But yes, they can. It's just not a conference thing.
Sometimes maths. I don't know.
We'll
see.
All right, we're rambling here at the end. Thanks for joining us, guys. We look forward to seeing you next time, and best of luck.
All right, thank you.